What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. Today we have an episode of Ask Sirr Love, and we got a question coming from Koya Official. So Koya Official, Koya, I think I said that right. She says, how do you do split sheets if you wrote the hook and verse of the song, but have a feature and they only wrote a verse? Now, for those that may not understand this, what I'm gathering from this is basically, Koya, you wrote a record and it's your song, but you basically had someone do a feature on your record. Maybe an R&B singer, you brought a rapper in to do a verse, add some spice to it. Maybe a rapper, you brought an R&B singer or something like that in to add some spice, or any other mixture or anything of that nature. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have this question, so here's the answer. It can happen two ways. Of course, there's multiple ways to do anything, but there's two popular ways that this thing can go down. Way number one, you do include them on the split sheets. You go ahead and look at your 50% ownership, and of course, right, because you own half of the song, your half is the writing half, whoever did the beat is the other half. If you own that half, cool. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about the writing portion, because that's all they contributed, right? So out of that 50% that's remaining out of the song that was written, you can go ahead and break that piece up. Now, what's common practice right now? Well, normally in hip hop and urban music and pop and a lot of other cultures, it's popular to make the hook the most valuable portion. A lot of times people will look at the hook as half of all things written as far as a lyric standpoint on a record. Now, everyone looks at it that way. It's negotiable. Everyone has their own different things, but it's normally looked at somewhat around half. So 20 to 25% of that record needs to be whoever wrote the hook. And in this situation, that's you. Then you'll look at the rest of it, the remaining 30 or the remaining 25%, and break that up based off of how many verses are remaining and go ahead and divvy it up accordingly, right? If it's 2 verses, then that's that's half or whatever. If it's 3 verses, if it's 4 verses, whatever, that's one way you can break it up. Now, if you do it that way, of course, you have to include everyone on the splits and the copyrights and the whole 9, etc., etc., etc. Now, a more common way of doing it in the music business is to actually do a work for hire agreement. This is the situation in which a work for hire makes sense. If you don't know what a work for hire is, watch the work for hire video. But in this situation, you can easily pay this rapper a fee or feature, whoever this feature is, pay them a fee and say, hey, thank you for your verse. Here's $500 or whatever, here's $200 or here's however much for your verse, and give them their cash, and they sign a work for hire. It's yours. The benefit of doing this is your song. Down the line, when you're trying to do a licensing deal, or you're trying to get in a commercial or a television show or whatever, you're trying to put it on radio, you don't want to have to go through all the checks and balances of clearing masters and clearing compositions with this person who really just did a feature and doesn't have much vested in the record. They're not investing in the record. They're not spending money to make the record pop and different things of that nature. You are. So go ahead and pay them, get them out the pictures. This is the reason why artists in the game charge so much for features, because they know they're getting paid out the situation. They'll say, yo, it's $30,000 for me to get on the verse. Why? Because they know they're not getting no royalties or anything off of it. They're going to sign a work for hire agreement. You're going to pay them 30 bands and they're going to go about their business. If you do what you do, great. If you don't, it doesn't hurt or affect them in any type of way. Then they'll turn around and hit you with another 30 bands to be in the music video. And that's just an example. Of course, there's different rates for different artists, but this is the reason why people do work for hire, because it keeps them out your business. So if it was me, I would do a work for hire agreement, but you don't have to do that. If you're friends with the person, you have a good relationship with them, and you want to keep it friendly or whatever, go ahead and cut them in. So I hope that answers your question. I'm asking everyone to subscribe and ask me questions. Leave comments below. Ask your question. Hopefully you'll see it presented on the Ask Sirr Love series. Check out the website. Check out these Phase 6 caps. Check out everything that we're doing. Subscribe. And please send me your questions and maybe I have the answer. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. Give you guys everything I got. Sirr Love, I'm out.